You are so fascinating in the Gray House. How was Obi originally described to you, or did you just do a little bit of research on him?
Do you know what? When I originally got the audition through, obviously you only get snippets of the script, so you kind of have a very vague idea about what the character is going to be. So it was really interesting to explore that when I was doing the audition. And I remember one of the things Roland, the director, said to me, he asked me what I thought about the character and what I thought about Obi and who he is. And it's really stuck in my mind. And maybe the reason why I got the job, but I remember saying that I thought he was a kind person. And obviously, when you watch the series, you'll realize why that's kind of a strange thing to say. Um, but I think it was it was really important for me to try and understand. You obviously you can't play characters that you can't relate to in some way, or you have to try and see things from their point of view. And I think he has this really strange relationship with his dad, um, and that kind of really influenced the kind of human that I tried to kind of look for in Obi. Um, and then it wasn't until we started that I did all of this research on the real Obi Wise, and it was really interesting to find all of these handwritten letters that he sent to his sister while he was away, and to his dad while he was away in Europe at university. And those things became really important to me because you would see him saying things like, I miss you and I wish you wrote more, and um, him wishing for his sisters to have a really good education so that they were smart, and those were the things that I really tried to hold on to try and keep him human. Because on paper and when you watch the series, he's so I guess indoctrinated and so brainwashed in this lifestyle and this culture and this society that now we look back on and we're like, what the hell? Um, so yeah, the character initially I didn't really know a lot about him, but I was really lucky to find a lot of things online.
He does seem to have a very rigid belief system. Is that something you explored as well?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that again comes from the relationship that he's had with his dad, because um, his dad is obviously this prolific figure, and he just wants to make him proud. He just wants to do the right thing for his dad, and he just feels very much like he's not. There's a couple of moments where you see he definitely feels like he's not quite got it right, and everything he's doing is trying to please his dad, and um, I think that has definitely kind of narrowed his mind a lot, and he's become very like kind of one-sided in everything.
He does seem to have I don't know, a distaste for Thomas or for Hampton Arsenault. Is it because they share such different, vastly different beliefs in slavery?
Well, yeah, it's strange because obviously they are close and they have this friendship, but there is this underlying. They definitely feel and think very differently about the world, and I think that does cause this kind of like, I guess resentment's probably the wrong word, but like you say, a distaste whereby I think Obi just cannot understand or cannot comprehend why Hampton wouldn't be as kind of like. Hampton definitely has a more open-minded way of looking at the world, and Obi doesn't. So it's really hard for Obi to understand anyone that doesn't think the way that he thinks and the way that he's been taught to think.
That was quite a duel. The horseback riding is beautiful, but it's very startling. I mean, how these were settled back, arguments are settled back then. And you're like, no, okay, one time isn't enough. I need you, like I need it. Someone has to get shot in order for this to be settled. Talk about filming that scene.
So that was really fun. I mean, it's fun to do something quite as extreme as that, and to play a character who is so radicalized opposite another character is equally radicalized in the other direction. And I think that's what made Obi so riled up about that situation is that he feels like he needs to have the last word and he needs to come out on top. Um, and even when the situation arises where, um, it said, we've done it, it's fine, leave it. I think everyone has kind of learned from this situation, and he is just like, absolutely not. Like, I have been insulted,
He's very
and
insistent.
what he's insistent of what he would feel is justice in that situation, which is crazy because it comes from a moment of what essentially is just disrespect, and he feels like the only thing that's going to make that right is if someone gets shot, which is crazy, but obviously a reality. So it was really interesting to see um, how extreme these characters are.
Whole series is very powerful, and poignant. Is there a particular scene you're most proud of the work you put into?
Um, I think that scene particularly was um, obviously I had had some experience on riding a horse, um, but to do all of that on horseback, you can't always predict what these amazing animals are going to do. So to try and tell this story and tell this moment in a way that felt really authentic and to do it justice, while also thinking about the logistics of sitting on this huge animal and trying to also be in control of that in a way that looks like you have been doing this your whole life, um, was really exciting and challenging. And I'm really proud of that. So that definitely the duel scene was really great.
Costumes are simply gorgeous, and the ballroom ones exceptionally as well. Does it take you maybe slipping into that period piece to find a character like this?
For Obi especially, it definitely was really interesting to see how the costumes kind of manifested in a character because there were certain moments where Obi was quite, and it was in the script that he had this kind of eccentric way of dressing, and so in one of the scenes he's wearing this kind of old uniform, and it's almost like it's kind of different to everybody else. He's kind of embellished it in a way to make a statement, and he definitely used the way he dressed to try and express his character. So for me, and creating Obi in the way that we see him in the TV series, costumes definitely had a huge part to play because they were so outlandish, some of them, like the bright colors and the kind of the peacocking of his character definitely came from some of the costumes.
It's, as I said, a beautiful series, and you give quite a powerful performance. What did you personally take away from your time working on this series?
There was a lots of things I took away. Definitely my education on the American Civil War was kind of expanded massively. It's not something that we learn a lot about in the UK, or is touched on very briefly, and you kind of get this very vague overview of the North and the South and slavery, and you don't really learn too much about the exact politics and the economics of um, the situation. And obviously, all of these characters that were real, and especially the three women who are not often mentioned. So it was really interesting to get to know these characters and hear this story and the people that were kind of spoken less about in the kind of history books. And it was really interesting. And also getting to work with so many incredible actors and creatives
My
was
goodness.
mind blowing for me, who obviously I've predominantly worked in musicals and silly ones at that. So it was really, really a career highlight to get to do this really serious, true story with all of these incredible people.
We're seeing you here on stage right now. What are the other projects you've been busy working on?
So recently, I'm on tour with the Steps musical Here and Now, which is so far removed from the Grey House. It's crazy. I'm singing step songs every night, bright colours, and in a supermarket musical, which is really, really bizarre. But it's good. It's good. It's nice to do things that are different, and they keep your mind challenged, and being on the stage as well is definitely physically challenging. So I love it.
As I said, you give this incredible, powerful performance in the Grey House. How are you planning to celebrate when it comes out here on February 26th?
Well, I will be in Edinburgh with the show that I'm touring with. So a group of my current cast are going to come over for a small watch party, and we shall have a look at the first couple of episodes. Um, it's always very strange watching yourself, especially they will all know me for playing this very different character every night. So it will be really interesting to get everyone's reaction to that. And also, it's such a serious piece as well. So you obviously want to, as an actor, you want to celebrate that kind of achievement and um, seeing yourself like that on screen. But at the same time, I'm really excited that everyone's going to get to see this story and these characters and this really powerful message, which is actually really kind of poignant and impacting and heavy and all of the things which you may not associate with celebrating, but it's going to be a really proud moment for me.
I'm eager for people to watch because, as I said, every single person in this series is just exceptionally exceptional, I should say. You included just a wonderful performance in this. I hope you're so proud of watching yourself on screen when you see this series.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It was um, a real challenge, as I said, and I really kind of worked hard to try and do the story and the character justice.
You do. It's beautifully portrayed, and I cannot wait, as I said, for people to see that duel scene because it's just watching you just demand satisfaction. It's just powerful and so beautiful to see you on our screen.
That was one of the audition scenes actually. So I remember that. It was I just remember he's so angry all the time. It's
Yes.
it's it's quite you almost like pity him really.
Well, I think it's sort of his upbringing, maybe. It's
Yeah,
what I
exactly.
picture of it, like his dad taught him, these rigid rules for
Yeah,
society as well. And no matter what anyone tells you, you have to have this. Otherwise, I feel like, he'd go back home and his dad would be like, "Oh, you gave up after the first try," or like,
exactly. I think a lot of it comes from this fear of disappointing his father, and this fear of being a disappointment or not being man enough or not, um, yeah.
it's great watching you on our screen. Those were all of my questions. So as I said, I'm glad we got a chance to chat about this.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much.